Hello, everybody. This is Don Counts at Fayetteville Public Utilities. I have our CEO, General Manager Britt Dye, with us. And Britt, we're doing our monthly update. And let's start out talking about something that we talk about pretty much every day on the radio and at the newspaper about some of the construction going on around town.
Yeah, we still working on Mulberry Avenue and Washington Street, Edison Street. Still got a lot of work to do. And, you know, everything's temporary right now, what we have in the ditches, because we got to come back and make all the ties. We got to make some lateral cuts across Mulberry Avenue. But, you know, it's making progress, and we're moving. Start days next week. I hope maybe we can pick up speed a little bit more. It's just a little bit more hectic working at night, but it's safer working at night. But we're going to have a lane closure. We're going to have traffic contractors in here of controlling it too. So I hope everything picks up and goes much quicker.
There's a lot of construction going on all over town, from Mulberry Avenue all the way over here into the College area, College Street east area, west area. One thing that we need to talk about, I guess, is the fact that we got a grant to do some of this stuff, but it was you actually went through the process with the city about knowing what roads they were going to have to repave anyway, so that's why we picked these particular roads to work on.
That's correct. You know, the roads that we're tearing up, we have a list that came from the city, and it stated roads that they were going to be looking at paving, and that's the reason that we're in those roads or those sections of replacing the infrastructure.
Right. Okay. So that's just wanted to clear that up of the reason we're picking the roads. Now, when you get down to the nitty gritty, I guess there's pretty much all over the utility area there with water needs to be upgraded, but it just takes time and a lot of money, which we talked about. You couldn't just rip up everything and tear it apart because it takes money.
That is correct. And, you know, our priority is to provide safe, quality drinking water. You know, and that's what our business is, and that's what we're supposed to do. And, you know, and that's where we need to put our money is in the replacing the pipes that's 100 years old and those kinds of things.
Right. Okay. So let's look on into the future. How much longer do you think this these construction is going to go on?
Well, the project is actually timelined out close to 3 years.
Okay.
So, you know, it's a lot of other streets that we got to get done. This is the biggest main part of the 12-inch main tie, so we can get fire flow, improving fire flow, pressure, and all those kinds of things across the city. We still got a big portion we got to put in from North Main up, starting at the square, going back through North Main, up around the curve. So a lot of more construction to do.
We've talked about this too, but one thing is interesting is there is so much infrastructure underground. One of those things that the public, we all kind of take for granted that it's just there, but at some point it has to be worked on. But sometimes out of sight, out of mind, you just don't really realize how bad a shape it's in.
Well, it is out of sight, out of mind. And, you know, I've been working very close with Jack Williams that works with the city. And I had to call him out one night here the last couple of weeks to look at some storm drains that we ran across. And, you know, we cameraed some of that as well. And you can see it's in the same kind of shape that the city water infrastructure is, you know, that we have to take care of. But it's just old, and it's time to get it replaced.
Yeah, that's something a lot of people might not realize when we're talking about water, which is what we're working on. We have sewer down there. Now you have storm drain to get the water out of the city, and so much more, including electricity, telecom. There's so much more that when you're digging into it, you have to be very, very careful on what you're going to dig into.
Yeah, and you know, you run across AT&T that's been put in for several years as well, and they got box culverts that, you know, the AT&T lines run through, and you can't hit that, and you have to be very careful. But a lot of times you run into things because nobody knows it's there. Right. And that's some of the problems we've been having. And, you know, even though once you find it, and then all of a sudden it's back out toward the center of the street instead of over to the edge of the street. And so when you go to digging, you know, you hit it, but we're trying to repair everything as we do. But, you know, it just takes time and having to go back in and make the ties. And there's so many different steps you have to take when you get ready to put water on the new line. You have to be sure you get it chlorinated. You have to be sure you do your back T test, all those kinds of things, and it requires time. You can't just go take a sample and back T test is good tomorrow. You have to let days of it setting to be sure there is no back T in these lines, and we got to make sure we meet all state requirements of making sure all the water is safe to drink.
with all these responsibilities, one of the other issues you're having to deal with is traffic in general, and most people are there again, out of sight, out of mind, not paying attention, and not being as careful. One of your goals is to try to make sure that all of our people go home the same way they come in, and sometimes that's difficult when you got 18-wheelers and everything else running through there.
It is difficult, and the job that we're doing at the present time, you don't have time to look up and see the traffic, and we put up our barriers, and some people it doesn't matter, they still come through there. But the worst thing that can happen is if we get a man hurt, and we got the right barricades up, we got the right signage up, and it's not going to be good. It's not going to be good for anybody. We don't want nobody hurt, and that's our goal, is not to get anybody hurt, but people needs to pay attention. That's
true. And when you're looking at driving down the road, if there's anything on the side of the road, we really ask that you really please drive very carefully. This is not we never want to lose anybody. This is not a good time to do that. And there is a lot of other construction going on around. Not only some of the paving is now going on here, that's one thing. And then you also have some bigger conductor being put in, I think, now on South Patrick Road.
We're on South Patrick Road, stringing new conductor now, and we're going to be in some other places as far as upgrading on the electric side. We got some capital projects to do on the gas side, where we're going to be constructing in other areas down toward the southwest, and we got a lot of work going on, and several people are involved in all these projects, and it takes time, and it's not something that can be done overnight. If that was the case, anybody could do it, but that's not the case.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the fiber build in the city now. I know we're continuing out in the county. You might talk about a little bit of both of those.
Well, we have been on the east part of the county, and we keep picking up customers, and we're proud to have those customers coming online with us. We're supposed to start boring in the country club area underground next week, pulling conduit in, getting ready to put fiber in the ground to have fiber to the home. And it's going to be a totally different type of service with new technology that we'll be offering, because all this parts of town, that was the first piece that we built back in 1999. It was all coax plant, and we hope to get all that replaced with fiber.
All right, let's talk a little bit about that. So the Country Club Estates, which is starting Monday, that's our first phase of basically doing the whole city. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And what's the time frame on that? Are people going to be asking now?
It's going to be anywhere from 1 to 2 years. Depends on material, because material, with the tariffs and all that kind of stuff going on, it makes it difficult. The prices are going up. And that's in every utility. It's not just the broadband side or the fiber side. It deals with every piece of material we get, whatever services that we offer.
One thing I will say is the cable plant being built, as you said, in 1999, it still puts out a very, very good internet package, but the fiber is the next technology, and it's going to be better.
That is correct.
All right. Let's talk about Petersburg Water and the merger. We are having an informational meeting about the Petersburg Water merger on Monday, December the 15th. And that's going to be at 6 o'clock, and it's going to be at the Howe Community Center located at 11 Old Schoolhouse Road. So you're going to talk to the people about how this came about. Maybe you can give us a little small version of how this came about and then what these people are to expect.
Well, it's when the comptroller's office come down, and they talked about it and merging and taking over the system, and so really we didn't have a choice to do but what comptroller's office has asked us to do, and we're trying to make it work in a very smooth way of getting everybody on board of what we need to do. But the meeting is actually to get the correct information from each customer. The meters right now are actually being changed out in Petersburg. It's close to 400 meters. We will have them remote read, just like we do here in town, or our system that's existing now. But once all that's completed, then we will make a decision of when FPU will start billing and taking the readings and all that. But until all that gets done, and it gets done the right way with the contractors that's working in Petersburg, because we don't need that headache. It needs to be done correctly when they get it installed, and I will cover this with the folks at Petersburg, to inform them of that. But please bring all your correct information. A good contact number is very, very important, and we will go through how it gets added to the bill and all those kinds of things. But if you got questions, please bring them with you. We're going to have plenty of personnel there to answer questions, to get paperwork filled out, and those kinds of things.
Okay, one thing about it is the comptrollers concept of us taking them over, we were already furnishing them all of their water anyway.
That's correct.
And so it was just an obvious move to come down the pike that at some point that would happen. And so it's not like you wanted to do this.
No, not really. But, we didn't have much of a choice. But, you don't want a court order. They come in here and tell you you're going to do this regardless. So that's what I'm talking about. We're trying to make it smooth in the way that we're doing this merger. And, it's a lot of work to get done. But what we have to make sure is that we're accurate. We don't want to be sending somebody's bill over here and it belongs to you. So it's got to be accurate. We hope that we find some issues that nobody's aware of, because normally doing something like this, you will find them, and to make things better for the people that live in the town of Petersburg.
Yeah, one thing about it is they have a billing system that has to be, brought into our billing system, and that's not a very easy, simple process, not a click of a button.
That is correct, and they've been working on it very hard here with our billing folks. And, like I said, it's got to be accurate. It's got to be where it needs to be, because you will find over time, dealing with water meters, they don't speed up. Water meters slow down.
Oh.
And over time. So, you're going to have more accurate information.
Good. That's very good. Well, we will also say that we will be out in the Petersburg area next week delivering door-to-door information to make sure everybody in Petersburg knows about this meeting. Now, whether you come or not, that's another thing. We're going to make sure, and we hope everybody does come, because we'll have a few snacks and a few things maybe people would enjoy. Getting to meet some of our people and seeing what's going to be going on for their bill and stuff.
Right, and we try to be transparent as we can be, and you need to know what's going on. You need to be informed about how we're going to do this merger and what it's going to take on your part to help us to make it good and smooth.
Yep, it's going to be a much better situation, I think, and I think people's going to like it. All right, let's talk a little bit about Harvest of Hope Food Drive. The girls told me they've already moved I think a couple of times to the warehouse some food, so that's a good thing. We still want people to continue to bring canned or non-perishable food items, and we will then take those to Good Samaritan, and our Student Utility Board will take the first load on Thursday over there, so they get to see how what we do to give back to the community, and this is a thing that's been going on a long time. And we'll be taking food till December 31st. I know it's something you're proud that we're associated with.
Right. We're just glad to help give back to the community, and we'll take perishable items or whatever you may have to bring it in, and so we can get it distributed like it needs to be.
Yeah, and the boxes are in our lobby, and you can either lobby, and so feel free to just drop those off anytime. And we really appreciate it. A lot of people are in need, and this time of year, we don't want anybody going hungry, so this is a good thing. Let's talk about wastewater. I guess that says wastewater fog. The holiday cooking and all that kind of stuff going on. People bad about putting the grease down the drain, and we don't want that because that causes you a lot of money. Costs a lot of money to get that cleaned up.
Well, a lot of your replacements that we did on the wastewater side was due to fats, oils, and greases being in the wastewater line, where once it gets cold and it hardens up, it causes blockage problems. Then you have backup, and these flushable wipes, they're not flushable wipes. It causes lots of problems where it even locks up the pumps in the wastewater pumps, and it's just be careful about what you put down the drain, because over time what we have replaced and spent money on, that you create that problem again, then we're back out there doing this work all over.
Yep. As you mentioned, fats, oils, and greases, the grease kind of builds up like Crisco and kind of like clogged arteries, and it's just causes all kind of problems. And really and truly, Britt, there's no such thing as a flushable wipe, I don't guess.
No, it is not.
Even though it says it, it's really not. And it costs us money, which then in turn costs the ratepayer money, and we don't want to have that happen. Well, something really good tomorrow night is the Christmas parade in Fayetteville, and we're going to be there. You're going to be one of the hosts on TV. We will be broadcasting that live. You might talk about your other hosts.
Well, we got Miss Lucy Williams that will be participating with us, and Carolyn Denton from the Chamber will be participating with us. And, it's always a good time to talk and look at everything that comes up on the Christmas parade. And it's my understanding that Bailey Smith and Brentley's going to be the grand marshals of the parade, which Bailey worked here at FPU, and they had the bad accident, a while back. And I'm glad to see that happening. And we did relocate to another location where we're going to be actually videoing the Christmas parade again as we usually do and put it on YouTube and social media.
Yep, and we're going to be in front of the locals. So if you want to come around there, we'll have that area kind of blocked off for our for Britt and all the television stuff. And so looking forward to that. You can see it on YouTube, as Britt mentioned, and we'll have that shared on our social media. So you'll have an easy way to click on that. So the Christmas parade tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, at 5 o'clock, and then you can watch it later on YouTube after next week if you're there. But if you're there, you can also watch it.
Be good if it was snowing, wouldn't it?
Well, yeah, maybe be good. I don't know. It's going to be cold. Going to be cold. But hey, it's not going to be too bad. I think the weather's supposed to be pretty nice tomorrow.
Pretty decent.
Yeah, we're looking forward to that. This time of year, we have a lot of people who need the security lights because it got dark so early. Man, it's you really want your security light set up right. And if you want one on an existing pole, it's really kind of cheap and easy.
And that it is, with the lights changing every day, when it comes to LEDs, what sizes they are and those kinds of things. And because we can have the rate set for one certain size light, and then 2 weeks later we have to change the rate because that light's changed to a different size. And But the LEDs are working out really well for us. We got a lot of customers that's requesting to get rid of their high-pressure sodium lights and go to the LEDs.
Yeah. And it's a night light rental program, and it's any outdoor security light that can be installed on any existing pole. And for your convenience, the rental fee can be added to your electric bill. And if you have one already and you have any problems, just let us know because that's part of the rental fee. So it's a good thing, and lights are very important. You've been doing this almost 50 years, and you know how important that is to a lot of folks, including the street lights in the city. So as I mentioned about the SUB, the Student Utility Board, we're meeting on Thursday, but last month we met at Engineering, Customer Service, and Administration Day. They got to see kind of behind the scenes of some of the things that our customers, some of the customers' needs and what they do when they come in.
Right. We got a good student utility board, but so far since we've been doing this, all of our student utility boards has been excellent young students to participate on this. And as we all know, we have some that's been on the student utility board that are employed by FPU, actually. Yeah. So, it's worked out great for us. They want to do different things, and we want to teach them to give them an idea of what it takes to run a utility system.
That's true, and one of the best things about it is it gives them true information. We're living in a time where there's so much misinformation from social media and all that of how bad maybe we are, but it's good that it's showing at least 7 people a year, young people, that grow up to understand what's really goes on behind the scenes.
Right. You always have those out there that want to comment on social media and Facebook and all that stuff. And, if you call to get information and get the right information instead of posting what you think it is, get the right information, then post what it really is.
Yeah. As you say, if you don't know, you don't know.
That's right. But you got those don't know, they don't know.
Okay, let's go. The Christmas closing. We're going to be, Christmas time is here. FPU will be closed on Wednesday, December 24th, and Thursday, December 25th, but we're going to be open back up on the 26th, correct? That's a Friday.
That is correct. That's a Friday.
All right, so.
I think we're going to have enough to work that day.
A lot of people are going to be out, I'm sure. Yeah, that's a day. It's an easy one to take. But then also we're going to be closed on Thursday, January the 1st. For New Year's, and then but one thing that we're really proud of, we got the dispatchers here 24 hours a day, and we got a really good group of dispatchers, and that's kind of a tough job to know the entire utility. But I'm always real proud that when you call in here, you always get some live person that you know.
That's right. It's good to talk to a live person. I'm not saying that you'll always get to talk to one really quick because it depends on what we got happening. If we got a big outage or a big water leak or anything like that, it's hard to get in sometimes. But when it's really bad, we bring in extra people to help answer the phones. But we always have somebody on call. And like I said, if it's bigger than what the people on call can handle, we call out extra people to get it taken care of.
Yeah, and these people are not just answering phones. They're calling in crews. They're calling in to maybe to Britt to let him know what's going on. So they have so much going on, but they get the calls pretty quickly. And now there's so many ways of finding out information, like our Smart Hub. We have outage management on our website. So you can always click on there to kind of see what's going on and see where the power's out, if it's power, or if it could be any of our utilities. If you got a problem, you can always call in here 24 hours a day and get the information you need.
You know, with the new advanced meters that we use, it's easy to tell if you have somebody that's out of power, but it could just be a blink. So what the dispatchers are good at doing, if your light's blinking, it shows an outage. They try their best to get a hold of that customer to make sure, does your power come back on or is it still out? So that way we'll know if we need to roll a truck. And the biggest reason for the advanced metering is we don't roll trucks unnecessarily, and it saves time and it saves money for the system and the ratepayers. So, you know, if it gets a blink, it'll show it on the outage map for a short period of time. Like you might only have 5 customers out, but if it blinks a main breaker somewhere, you could be saying 400 customers.
Right.
So, and then we have to go through the process of clearing up all those alarms to get the accurate information.
Right. But if you need assistance for anything, we're available, like I say, all the time, 433-1522, or you can use our Smart Hub app. And basically just want to tell everybody Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. We're looking forward to 2026. What's in the crystal ball? What you're looking for? What you think is going to happen next year?
Well, we got a lot of work to do. Our capital outlay is a lot of improvements to the entire system on all services. That's the direction we need to go, and we really need to get there. We're looking at, I got a big call on Monday actually with TVA, hoping that we might be able to get some more delivery points in the system, and if that works out, I mean, you will be set for a long time. Everything that we're doing now, it's not a short-term fix. It's a long-term, way into the future of where we need to be years down the road, and that's what we're concentrating on.
When you look at our utilities, we have each utility has a plan of out so far out. So how far out are you looking ahead?
Well, right now, you know, on the electric side, we're anywhere from 15 to 20 years. And it's not that you'll be there in 15 or 20 years. What it does, it gives you an idea where you might need to be because things change. So we have to tweak it every year to be sure that we're heading in the right direction. If you have a lot of growth that comes in on the south end of the county, you have to try to be prepared the best you can be to take that growth. You never want to get in a situation where if you have a lot of residential growth and you need housing, that you will not be able to supply what they need. And sometimes that's the cases with the way that the delivery of materials are today. You know, a substation transformer, you're 3 to 5 years out based on size. And that's the reason I got this big call coming up with TVA, because if we're looking at doing some more substation work, we need to get some transformers on order. And, you know, you never know what might happen as far as a storm, lightning, those kinds of things, of what kind of damage it can do to your system, of how many contingencies you can have in place, you know, where you can do certain things. I know that we got a lot of redundancy through the entire system, but if you got a real 0-degree days, your contingency plan of carrying additional load other places, it's not going to work out too well. So, but if it's a normal day and something happens, we won't have any problem doing what we need to do. But if it's an extremely hot day, you know, if it's 105, 110-degree days, but where it really hits you on the cold days, if it stays 0 for 3 or 4 days or into 7 days, you know, and it makes a big difference on the load. Not only for FPU, it makes a difference on the load as far as all the way back to TVA.
Yeah, and one thing that you look at daily, kind of consistently, is the load from the electric, gas. You monitor water, you monitor the whole system, and you can tell on colder days the pull is going to be more.
That is correct, and you know we've been pulling already close to 90 megawatts right now. You know, and even though the temperature is cool, you know,
Sure.
If you're talking high 20s, low 30s. But again, when you start getting in those temperatures, you know, where it's down in the teens, you know, 1 day or 2 days is not too bad. But when it's a long term,
Yep.
you know, you have to go out and we have to make additional settings to our loading that we got in each substation and out on the lines that, you know, that we hope to be able to carry all the load.
And through your consistent, I'll wrap this up, but through your consistent communication with TVA, I'm sure the grid is probably one of the main subjects y'all talk about, and are they able to continue to feed us?
It is because, electric side, we're growing pretty good around here. You tell that by the staking sheets that I cover with the board every month of where we are and the activities that we got going on. But it's also on the gas and water side too. It's just most of it's in the rural area, and and the lines we have built out there, you got a lot of customers. You talking about up to 1,000 customers on some circuits. But then again, when we talk with TVA about the power grid, we're not the only ones that sees a little growth. All your other local power companies are seeing growth, and it affects the entire grid.
Yeah. And then when you start hearing things like Space Force coming to Huntsville, that they're going to be bringing some residents to Lincoln County, especially the southern part, as you just mentioned.
I hope so. I hope that we see that growth. We want that growth, and, we would encourage it, and we want the growth.
And the key thing is we're going to be ready.
We're going to be ready.
Gosh. Anything else?
Yeah, we got the Brian Tracy show coming up.
Oh, okay.
On the 12th, I believe.
That's next Friday? That's correct, next Friday.
And that's bringing in, this is at the Elk River.
The Elk River, help me somebody? No. Trading. Elk River Trading, I'm sorry. Yeah, you threw a curve on me there, Britt.
That's okay. I'm used to that.
Elk River Trading. Okay, so what's going to happen out there?
Well, I believe folks have been asked to bring in clothes.
Okay.
And take part of all that, and we'll have a bucket truck set up out there. Brian and Tracy be way up in the air.
Okay.
And if it's like it has been last few years, it's been mighty cold, so I hope they dress a lot warmer.
Oh, yeah.
But I know our guys will be dressed so they, so they'll be warm, but it starts at like 5:30 or 6 or something like that. So stop by, dry some clothes off. It's very important for people that's in the need. And that's what we all need to be thinking about, especially during the holiday season. A lot of folks are in need, and we need to do everything we can to help them.
Absolutely. And don't forget to tune in to the Christmas parade tomorrow, starting at 5 o'clock. That's December the 6th. And Britt, Lucy, and Carolyn will be doing the hosting. And so we'll start out with that, and then we'll show you float by float and truck by truck about what's going on. And so we're looking forward to that big day, and I hope everybody tunes in. All right. Thank you very much, Britt.
Thank you, Don.
Thank you for watching.